it's the, how would I say, the lack of form. It's like you're not maintaining that strong force that you had back in 2025, which could be safe for both teams. Right now, they're finding their first footing in the first game of the pick and bans, with NONGSHIM REDFORCE on towards the blue side and BLACKLIST International going on towards the red side in the second series of today.
Yeah, this is going to be the chess match between Coach YK on the left representing NONGSHIM REDFORCE and Coach TG representing BLACKLIST International. Both of these guys know how to draft. They have a lot of strategies in mind. They have definitely trump cards going into this one, and they're very familiar with one another. They've done a lot of research, so even in this draft, it's going to be important.
Just sprinkle some magic onto those draft, right? Make it so that the players get to have the most comfortable position going into a game. You don't want to draft yourself into a very awkward position. No winning lanes, no pushing lanes, weak jungle into a strong jungle. Those are points that put you into a weaker position and a harder game for your players to actually execute. We can always say that, yes, it comes down to players' execution in-game, but if you give them a not so good of a start, it actually impacts them on their ability to play in the game itself.
Yeah, and going to be key, right? And also being able to choose heroes that they're very familiar with. And as we were talking about, just like familiarity, BLACKLIST International right now, a lot of respect to Illusion in that mid lane. That's one of his best heroes. And then you've taken away the Luna as well. You want to attack Haku as much as possible. NONGSHIM REDFORCE are going to solidify that farm lane with Series Lung. He's one of the best on this hero.
He's been one of the few, I would say, key players on towards our NONGSHIM REDFORCE that has given a lot of pick and ban priority. Every version of the pick and bans I've seen so far in the past two series has been at NONGSHIM REDFORCE giving Siri the first picks, like Concert U, like Long, the Arlie, even to the Chicha. All these are the welcoming picks for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. I would say they're drafting towards their comfort.
Yeah. Drafting for the comfort is definitely going to be key, right? Especially in a best of 5. It's not the longest of series, but at the same time, you got to ensure that you have your best heroes ahead of you. But one thing to kind of take note of, BLACKLIST International, if we're looking at the promo picks right here of Golden Cut and Dragon, it is not a duplicate. They are twins. In case you are just tuning in for the first time in the Honor of Kings esports scene, BLACKLIST International has, it's all about family for them, right? And having twin brothers on the same team with Golden Cut and Dragon, this is a phenomenal duo.
And I also like how production specifically took the pictures where their hair has a bit of a slight alteration between Golden and also Dragon here. But if we were to put our focus back into the pick and bans, you remember your one term that you put back in 2025? If you give Chami 1 Dharma, it's a set game. So do you think that statement still persists in 2026?
Until, I think towards the end, going up against like the MKL squads, he didn't have that 100% win rate. But I think that outside of MKL teams, he's 100% on that Dharma. So I will continue that. I think that BLACKLIST International already have an edge here.
Yep, that's like statistics, right? It's not just Hollis saying that, yeah, I'm a BLACKLIST fan. I'm just gonna say that Chami 1 on Dharma rules. No, it's based on statistics. Everyone else that's not an MKL team, Chami 1 has, I would say, not to say it overly, but he has destroyed them on how many sets he can do. So I'm hoping to see some pretty interesting brawl and also teamfight controls coming in from both Clash laners, Rattel and also Chami 1.
Yeah, but at the same time, if we're looking at what the Yukio has been picked, a nice counter to the pay, right? We've seen it time and time again. Josh G is able to make some serious headway on this hero and is able to do some damage. So in terms of that early game lead, they're going to be able to contest BLACKLIST International, looking to fight the early game with their own firepower early.
To add on to that, Peacekeeper, the Mozi, one of the Chaz's favorite pick. I still remember one of that, was it like a 3-man or 4-man box at the top side of the map? Yeah, that was, I still remember you have like a video on your social media, so it kind of like rings a bell, you know?
Yeah. Actually, he's amazing on this hero. And to a detriment, there was a moment where when they were going up against HBSC in the ultimate battle, and Chaz was just like, just give me my motes. But it's not the best roamer, and HBSC had chosen the Athena at that time, and they completely dominated because of that vision. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, I get that you're comfortable on it, but you still need to pick the best hero for the sake of the draft.
So do you think this is a good position to pick Mozi in? What's your comment on this specific BLACKLIST International draft after both teams have locked in?
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, the pay, just got to get a little bit of lockdown. You don't want to be near him. You want to outrange him. Also, Cannon Blast onto Yixing and Lung, you have a little bit of the nice amount of targets that you want, and you need to keep everybody alive. This is a squad that's going to be somewhat defensive with that frontliner, Chammy one with that Marshall Monk up front. But NONGSHIM are going to look to run at you. If they're able to lock you in a box, you might have a tough time.
Which is a good point, right? Where there's also the synergy of BLACKLIST International. One Cannon Blast coming in from the Peacekeeper, and then the Silk Weaver comes in with the Silky Imprint pulling the enemy team. So there is a scenario if you are alone and if you're Siri, you get hit by one spell. You might not even have the chance to press that ultimate button.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue, right? So they need to play this. The game is going to be like on a knife's edge, right? The amount of burst that we saw, and we kind of saw this even in that last game with Boom Esports and Team HOK, was that once you have that burst, you have that damage, and yeah, you're squishy, but if you're able to get that pick off and turn that and just run at them, they don't really have any sort of way to kind of be resilient enough to take that next punch.
We talk a lot about BLACKLIST International draft, how it can be super amazing. Let's put our focus on towards the NONGSHIM REDFORCE side, because NONGSHIM REDFORCE, I like the idea that they are drafting very heavily around HAKU. It's the NONGSHIM REDFORCE style. Play the jungle and farm lane priority, make sure that these two get the most comfortable resource, and then once it hits like 8 to 10 minute mark, that's why these two players starts coming online. So how does that actually happen? You rely on Illusion and Namu to give them that room, give those crucial crowd controls so that these two marksmen can find those big DPS.
Yeah, Namu, you rightly pointed him out, because he's the guy that really needs to kind of stick with the team, ensure that Siri has that space, and also keeping people alive, because BLACKLIST International, once they jump on top of you, they're going to have a great time. And this series must win for both of them. I know it sounds cliche, but BLACKLIST International, they go down 0-3. That's a world of hurt. NONGSHIM right now with 2 new members looking to impress and to really put themselves on the map, because right now things are not, looking good for NONGSHIM REDFORCE.
Indeed is not. Both teams looking for their first win here in the Honor of Kings Invitational Season 4. Whoever draws first blood will put them into a much comfortable position going into that playoffs mode here. As you can see, in the early game, a very aggressive 3v3 to dictate control for that mid lane.
And I love it how they're dropping the sprites already, the flags. It's just like it's just like mental warfare, okay? How many flags are you gonna drop? How are we gonna go? But look, it looks like Golden Kite wants to go for that Firehawk to start things off early, but NONGSHIM right now completely zoning them away.
Superior positioning coming in from the side of BLACKLIST International, but take a look at Just G though, with that cheesy little play, stealing away the Azure Golem from the hands of Haku.
And this is why it's impressive, right? Because either the Yukio, you have that mobility and you have a lot of damage and lifesteal to keep on pace. It's not going to be the easiest going up against a Pei Haku, but you have that potential and you want to be aggressive and pick your moments, and Joshi is very good at that.
And it seems like there's also no counter initiation coming in from the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE to go for that counter invade in that Azure Golem. So in terms of this early game, I do think that it has been a pretty good win so far coming in from the side of BLACKLIST.
Yeah, it's a good start for them. I mean, in terms of net worth, they're a little bit behind, about 300 gold, not the end of the world, but it's about those buffs, right? It's like a small thing that you see only later as the buff duration is there. So it's something that will help expand and ensure that they get a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, the EXP gap, like we see right now, right? Just G's already level 5. Haku is soon to be hitting his own level 5 as well. And the goal lead is practically 0 at this point, because some players are freezing the lane towards the top side, bottom side as well, doing that duke between 2 of these farm lanes. But you can see the main focus coming in from both teams is that mid lane department.
Yeah, it's all about this mid lane, right? You want to put pressure on. Plus, it kind of opens things up so that you can get into the other different lanes, the outside ones. Siri, kind of by himself, needs to be careful. He is level 4, but he's going to get on his dragon. He does get on out. They were trying to get the stuns. It was a good attempt by BLACKLIST.
Very key ultimate as well. So that's not going to be available for the next 80 seconds for NONGSHIM's farm lane. So if he gets hit by Chaz Cannon Blast or Dragon Silky Imprint, things could go really south for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. But panning over back towards the mid lane here, back towards basics, Haku just picking up whatever farm that is available on towards the map, speeding through that early game process. Once Haku gets sufficient items, then the jungle matchup isn't as hard for the NONGSHIM jungler.
Yeah, and as any sort of draft happens, you kind of need to put it into like the warfare simulator, like right, like how is this team fight gonna just eventually evolve, right? Like how is it gonna start? Who starts with it? You have the cannon blast, you have the silky imprints as you were talking about. You have a lot of control, but then you have Joshi and Golden Kite with that damage to kind of clean house. So that's ideally how you want to do it because you have a balanced draft, which will really set you up. But now they need to execute based on it.
Talking about the warfare that you mentioned, how would the NONGSHIM REDFORCE draft be the perfect occasion for you? What needs to happen for them to get control in this game?
Yeah. So, I mean, Haku needs to get going, right? He needs to ensure that he's kind of being aggressive. I know that he's the type where he doesn't really invade too many jungles. He's kind of stays on his own side and he just outpaces people. That's how he kind of gets going. But I think in this one, he needs to be aggressive because once he gets those items, he's going to start things. But now it looks like they've got the box. Chaz is looking to go for this one. But with that nice little board, it looks like Chaz is going to be picked off. Justy now on the run. Haku pounces on forward. It looks like here comes the rest of them. And with Rotel and Chami1 looking to join in the fray, but they're not going to get you.
Ooh, key misplay here coming in from the side of BLACKLIST International's roamer here. Very good box on towards Haku, but you're in enemy territory, which doesn't allow your teammates to actually come into assist as fast as NONGSHIM REDFORCE. So being punished there and also having to surrender that Tyrant, not the greatest of the start here coming in from the Filipino Giants.
Yeah, not the greatest, but they still have a little bit of map control. But now Joshi, he's going to get gone on. The Tremor Smash is real, but can they get actually follow up? Haku's going to pounce away, but he's going to be killed on this one. And it looks like Namu just over the wall. He gets under the tower, and BLACKLIST not able to get anything else, but they got Haku, which is the prize of the day.
That was a beautiful set coming in by Chami1 here. Although he didn't land a true mantra on towards the wall, but the damage and AoE has already been done, and it already has displaced Haku from the rest of the team, which formulate this 1-for-1 exchange in favor for BLACKLIST. Early game, it's on towards Chaz, and now it's on towards Haku. And you can say, if you can stop Haku's train of farm and make sure that he doesn't outscale Justy, then it's the gameplay of NONGSHIM REDFORCE being disturbed.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely being disturbed. And that's a bit of a problem here. And BLACKLIST International understanding, hey, pay, a lot of the teams play it, right? We've seen it time and time again. It was definitely the meta, but teams are now adjusting. They're finding out that Yukio actually a pretty darn good counter. And you're seeing Justy, he's got a 300 gold lead. Haku did die as well, so XP is going to be a little bit further behind. Justy level 10, just doing everything well at this stage.
It's a good point, right? Where we have a major patch before the tournament, so teams that have their draft locked in from 2025, they have to go through more evolution, more simulation in terms of the drafting phase to find what works best for their team, as we see the board landing on towards the mid side.
Yeah, they're going to be just gold for the Silk Imprint. The Dragon used instantly. The Tremor Smash only onto one, and it looks like he's going to do a little bit of Dragon. Dragon tries to flash away, but nice three-man stun. The box is going to be used defensively. Chaz trying to get alive, but he does go down, and they find Chami1, who's under the tower. Namu was looking to dive deep, and NONGSHIM not playing scared. They've got 2 kills to their name.
The NONGSHIM REDFORCE train is started, and with that counter initiation coming in by Namu-san and also Rotel, that was just a beautiful one. The Byron coming in for that beautiful Storm Strike set up so much for Dragon and Chaz to, even though they flash away, but there was no room of escape because the Cavalry has already arrived, capturing their over-eagerness.
The Byron, time and time again, this has been the hero of KIS, right? The amount of highlight reels that you're seeing with him up front, that Storm Strike flash play is just unstoppable. Like just setting it up and the rest of the guys just following up and cleaning house. This is the perfect hero that you want from a Clash laner. Tanky, has damage, has stuns, is good looking. What else can you ask for from a Clash laner?
And it's always on this Itadori Yuji Byron skin. And yesterday we saw about how he single-handedly won the game for his team. And again, it's against BLACKLIST International here, so maybe it's not a coincidence.
Yeah, maybe not, but here it looks like they've got the truth. They find him and they get the Silk Imprint and they make Haku pay. They catch the Tiger and now Namu running for his life.
Ooh, that is a big mistake coming in from the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE here, but another one goes through mid.
Oh, the passive, it doesn't really matter when you have the Silk Imprint Dragon with the setup and BLACKLIST International completely changing this game trajectory, and now they have a little bit of a lead in terms of towers. The net worth is still in favor of NONGSHIM, but that will dwindle away. BLACKLIST International doing everything right in this one.
This is the thing that we discussed during pregame, right? Where NONGSHIM REDFORCE, very cool. You do your thing very well in the first 8 minutes of the game, but the little mistakes that you do during rotations, doing side lane duties, makes your lead get erased by your own mistakes here. So for them, this is a very crucial one right now. The lead that we talk about that NONGSHIM REDFORCE did so well in harnessing, it's already being given over back to a side of BLACKLIST.
Destroyed a tower.
I mean, you can't get caught out. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Haku, he's playing more aggressive than he should be because the BLACKLIST side has so much control. If you get caught out, you get deleted. You're very squishy. You're going to have a tough time. So Haku needs to play a little bit safer until he hits that critical mass where he can actually fight 1 versus 3 or so.
And it's an interesting build coming in from Champion Rumble. Look at that engage coming from Namu.
Oh, nice little Storm Strike. It looks like Joshi, he's barely alive. He has the shield with that Blood Rage. He's looking to just turn this one, but Dragon getting a little bit low, but somehow all of them are looking to walk away. Chammy1 is just going to leave Chaz there. No, he's going to flash forward, and it looks like Rattel gets him, but they got only one, and that's the Roamer. Now BLACKLIST International still on the run. Rattel looking to go with the force field suppression. Nice little Storm Strike on a Chammy1. Nice 4-man first ram, and Namu will trade his life away, but he has the stuns. Chammy1 is going to go down as well. They find Rattel, and they find Haku, and BLACKLIST International turned that around. Series the last man standing because he wasn't even in a fight.
That was a desync coming in from the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. They went for it all in exchange, but Siri was busy farming in the farm lane here. What is going on?
Not sure, and this is why the team is not really on the same page. I mean, Golden Kite, he was completely untouched, right? There's a reason why he got the quadra kill, because he'll just do that free damage. Everybody else is just a buffer for him to do all of that, and Golden Kite with a massive quadra kill to start this one.
I wonder if you get a replay to really break down what exactly happened in that exchange, because that was really much needed. But right now we see a bit of a positioning advantage coming in from BLACKLIST International. Nice Silky imprint on towards Namu here. He has to use the burst ramp to escape towards safety. Both teams fighting for control in this Tyrant pit.
Oh, he's gonna get mini stunned. He just barely stays alive. He has the shields, and now it looks like he will get back to safety, but now this Tyrant is gonna be open for BLACKLIST International. They've been zoned away by Joshi. They turn this attention towards that, and they take the Tyrant, and it looks like they're gonna get Illusion as well, who stuck around and found out.
This is the issue that we have right now with NONGSHIM REDFORCE. This has been seen with the Bigatron by Vitality series. They do so well in the first 8 minutes, in the laning phase, but once it is over, everybody seems to be so out of sync. The little mistakes, the overextension, these are slow and small things that creep up to them. And right now, the lead, the team fight wins that they have, it's out of the window.
Yeah, completely out of it. I mean, a 2.3K net worth lead for BLACKLIST International right now. And they're putting even more pressure on in this top T2. Not really much NONGSHIM can do, especially with Rattel down for about 15. This is a huge opening for BLACKLIST. And again, off of the mistakes of NONGSHIM, as you rightly pointed out, this is going to be a tough one for NONGSHIM as they have to find a way to come back.
It will be a difficult one, because if we view NONGSHIM's REDFORCE draft in terms of scalability, I don't think they really draft, but look at the mantra!
Oh, nice 2-man stun. It looks like Chammy1 just looking to set this up. The Infinite Bass is going to be used, but Illusion has already been killed on this one, and now it looks like they want to continue on behind the T2. They haven't even taken that out. They have the box. They find Haku as well, and they don't even care. They're going to continue to dive, and BLACKLIST International off of a triple kill of Golden Kite. Add that to the quadra kill that he got earlier this game, and BLACKLIST International are looking to take game number 1 as Namu is all by himself, who will get truth to the crystal, and BLACKLIST International easily take game number 1.
The story of this game is simple. NONGSHIM REDFORCE played beautiful HOK, beautiful micro and macro mechanics in the first minutes of the game, but the desync, the little mistakes coming in from the NONGSHIM lineup really caused them to slip away this game, and hence with those team fights that we saw coming in from Golden Kite, coming in from Just G, both carries untouched throughout the entirety of those 4v4s, of those 5v5s. It allowed those two carries to just get so much resource, so much farm, and claw their way back into a successful comeback.
Yeah, and be able to just outfarm them and just kind of left alone untouched, but dare I say. I mean, Golden Kite right now, that was the freest game ever. And it looks like NONGSHIM were not targeting him whatsoever, right? That's a huge error from the team, right? Any sort of fight happens, they need to find Golden Kite. They need to ensure that they lock him down and kill him. But they were so bloodthirsty, they were just like taking on whoever was in front of them, and they made them pay. BLACKLIST International, play that one to the T.
It's really down to these mistakes, right? If you were to point out some key changes to the tempo, right? So we saw like a 2,000-3,000 goal lead in favor for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, and then the first key mistakes that we saw in was Haku. He appeared towards the top side with vision and information that, hey, everybody is sticking on towards the Blacklist side. I shouldn't be bringing that wave without prior vision. He walks in, gets set by the Truth Mantra. That's the #1 flaw. And then mid lane, Illusion gets picked off by the side of Just G. That's where immediately the domino that they have stacked up due to the early and mid game that they have played perfectly starts to crumble and went into the advantage of Blacklist here. So I would say that this game is really about who does lesser mistakes in the full duration of the game.
Yeah, and also to this one, I kind of feel like Namu is not in the right spot because he was with Haku when you were talking about the fact when he died early top. Namu probably should have been way more aggressive. He needs to be that forward scout to just kind of give Haku a chance to get out in need be. He was hiding behind, waiting for the counter initiation. That's not going to happen. You are way too squishy, and Haku died because of that and the lack of vision that was provided by Namu.
It's give or take, right? It's either Namu is slow or Haku is too fast. You need to find the equilibrium between the two players. Like, hey, Haku, can you slow down a bit so I can start opening up the vision with my Radiance, with my Tremor Smashes, to make sure that you get like a comfortable position to get those waves going for yourself. Or Haku would be like, hey, I don't see anyone. Can you guys find some information for me so I can start doing my pay duties on the side lane? So for me, I don't want to pinpoint on anybody's mistake. It's more of a collaborative mistake from the NONGSHIM members.
Yeah, and if we're looking at this roster, this draft from NONGSHIM, this is classic NONGSHIM. Everybody's on, what dare I say, what like their favorite heroes in 2025 in isolation, and not even going up checking the BLACKLIST International draft. You're kind of thinking, oh, this is a gimme for NONGSHIM. This is a strong lineup. They know how to play this one. But BLACKLIST now, 2026. Let's fast forward it to today, and you're seeing exactly how they countered it. They had the answer to everything. BLACKLIST International made NONGSHIM look very pedestrian, won the game in 12 minutes.
You can see the graph, like we talk about, like, okay, first 8 minutes, beautiful, pedestrian style, good gameplay, just pummeling the side of BLACKLIST International. But the mistakes are what we talk about. But let's move away from NONGSHIM REDFORCE mistake and prize BLACKLIST International. You can say, wow, that was a beautiful and perfect game coming in by Golden Kite's early, and also the Ukyo Tachibana coming in by Just G. They practically had zero mistakes and were playing to their heart's content.
Yeah. Actually, that's a perfect one. And this is kind of why we were like, hey, BLACKLIST International from 2025's KIC, they were looking strong. And you're seeing that, right? The way that they're able to close out a veteran squad like NONGSHIM and do it in style and like give them really no chance and capitalizing on all the mistakes, this is a squad that's really leveled up. And I think that this is why this series is so important for BLACKLIST to get on that win column so that they can kind of get a little bit of confidence going into the knockout stage.
And I want to point out a itemization idea coming in from Chammy1. Usually we don't see the Blazing Cape for the Dharma, but specifically because he's going up against a Byron which has so much sustain from that spell 1, he went for the Blazing Cape, get that Imperil effect in so he can reduce the healing coming in from the enemy Byron, which is a pretty smart move coming in by Chammy1.
Yeah, very smart. I mean, also for the lineup. I mean, everyone else, who's going to be the front liner? There was no one else, right? So he had to have been the guy. So he needs to sacrifice some of his pow in terms of damage and all of the offensive capabilities to kind of just help out the team, because somebody needs to kind of take that initial punch and then turn things around. And I think that he's more than willing to just sacrifice. He's Chammy1 for a reason.
And we put our focus back in towards this, I think it's a octagon. I'm not really good with shapes, you know, but you get what I mean. Golden Kite's participation, damage, GP, and every little marker outperformed Seri in this game 1.
Yeah, Definitely, definitely. And this is very unsettling if you're a NONGSHIM REDFORCE fan, right? Because Siri, you're thinking, he's got a Siri, you know, Pei, Haku. Like these are the heroes that you're looking for. And BLACKLIST had all the answers. They came ready, and I want to say that this is Golden Kite, but it could be Dragon. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to let the infographic tell us at the end of the day because it's identical twins, but it's Golden Kite, of course, with his 705, his quadra kill or triple kill. He doesn't get single kills. He only gets the multi-man kills.
Yeah, multi-man kills, stacking up those achievements in his past glory. Remember, he was the only one that got a pentakill back in KIC 2025. So this is his time to show that he still has it in 2026 here. 84,000 damage dealt, 26,000 damage taken here. He was really up there for those plays. But these are the early few moments that NONGSHIM REDFORCE had so much things going for them.
Yeah, and NONGSHIM, you rightly pointed it out. I mean, first 8 minutes, NONGSHIM are going to do fine. It's the post 8 minutes where they kind of struggle. And this is also with two new guys that are not really on the same page, but they're the guys that really need to set things up. Your Clash Laner and your Roamer are the guys that will initiate, they will set things up, they provide the vision, and those are the guys that really will accelerate your team. And you're kind of seeing exactly like that. Like Namu went in, but the rest of the guys, NONGSHIM, were not on the same page, and BLACKLIST International completely making them pay.
And that was essentially a 4v4, right? Siri was nowhere to be found. He was just casually farming the bot side, whereas the bot side had no immediate emergency for Siri to actually attend there. But this is a beautiful set coming in by Chammy1, destroying Illusion and forcing the infinite vastness out of Siri. And as of this point, you don't have solid control coming in from Illusion, no DPS coming in from Siri, and Golden Kite is just his play date. This is just an easy one for BLACKLIST after the 8-minute mark.
Easy, easy, easy. I mean, the easiest way to kind of explain that one. I mean, BLACKLIST International had all of the right answers. Chammy1, I mean, again, just excelling on that Dharma and understanding why he's one of the scariest Dharma players